Hello, Bama fans. This was unexpected, and no one expected this at Bama. Colorado's Deion Sanders is eyeing a Bama commitment. Did you see? Sign up before the news and keep receiving more Bama news. The news of Colorado's interest in Alabama offensive line commit Michael Carroll brings to light one of the most intriguing aspects of college recruiting: the constant battle for elite talent. And it's no surprise that new Colorado coach Deion Sanders is aiming high. Carroll, currently at the prestigious IMG Academy in Bradenton, Florida, is one of those players who catches everyone's attention, and Alabama was no exception when it secured his commitment in June. Now, however, Colorado and Miami are also in the mix, trying to lure offensive talent back onto the board. The Crimson Tide, with their unparalleled tradition of developing offensive line talent, certainly don't want to lose Carroll, an athlete who combines raw power with technical ability. The description of Carroll as a full-steam train in the trenches is accurate. He's exactly the type of player Alabama has always prioritized: physical, relentless, and capable of overwhelming opponents with his impressive size and mobility. On the field, Carroll shows why he is so coveted. His ability to move laterally, chase down quarterbacks, and impose himself like a monster in the trenches makes him a key piece for any offensive line. He is not just a blocker, but a driving force that literally drags defenders with him, opening up lanes and destroying opposing defenses. Seeing an athlete of his caliber receiving late offers from Colorado and Miami only reinforces his importance. What perhaps makes this situation more intriguing for Alabama fans is the fact that Carroll visited the Hurricanes last weekend, which inevitably raises some concerns about the possibility of a change in his commitment. But for the Crimson Tide, these situations are part of the game. High-level recruiting is a constant struggle, and Alabama is no stranger to this scenario, especially with Jaylen Mbakwe at the helm, keeping his focus on ensuring that players like Carroll remain committed to the program. Mbakwe, with his philosophy centered on strength and fitness, will certainly not pass up the chance to retain a talent like Carroll. The Alabama coach has already demonstrated that he knows how to rise to this kind of challenge, and his ability to create an environment in which elite players feel valued and prepared for the NFL is a huge draw. It's important to note that IMG Academy has a long tradition of developing players ready to contribute at the highest level of college football, and Carroll certainly fits that bill. The Crimson Tide have historically had a strong connection with the academy, and maintaining that relationship could be crucial to ensuring the continued recruitment of talent from Florida. Colorado, now with Sanders, is clearly trying to establish itself on the national stage, but challenging Alabama for elite players like Carroll is a tall order. The strength of the Alabama program, especially in developing offensive linemen, is unmatched. Sanders is trying to build something special in Boulder, but competing directly with the Crimson Tide in that area will be a real test. For Alabama fans, the big question is, will Carroll remain committed to the Crimson Tide? As of now, the player has not given any clear indication that he is seriously considering changing his commitment. But the fact that he is receiving these offers and taking visits to other programs is a reminder that a recruiting campaign, as solid as it may seem, is never completely guaranteed until the moment an athlete steps onto the field wearing the team's colors. Alabama, of course, has a long history of ensuring that its offensive line commits not only make it to campus, but thrive in the competitive environment of the SEC. Carroll, with his physical strength, polished technique, and ability to be a real destroyer in the trenches, is exactly the type of player the program wants to keep, and there is no doubt that Jaylen Mbakwe and his recruiting staff are working hard to make sure that happens. Recruiting season continues, and while other teams are trying to attract talent like Carroll, Alabama remains focused on ensuring that its offensive line future is as bright as it has always been. The battle for Michael Carroll is just another chapter in this long saga. But with the strength of the Tuscaloosa program and Mbakwe's leadership, there is a lot of confidence that the Crimson Tide can keep the team going. Let's keep going. Alabama continues to strengthen its recruiting presence by focusing on elite athletes, and Anthony Jones, a five-star linebacker in the class of 2026, is one name that is certainly attracting a lot of attention. Just a few years out of high school, Jones is already emerging as one of the top defensive talents in the country, and the Crimson Tide's interest in securing his commitment is becoming clear. Jones, who attends St. Paul's Episcopal, is starting to feel the heat in the recruiting process. With teams and coaches from across the country visiting his school, he is being courted by some of the biggest programs in college football. Alabama, with its tradition and reputation on defense, is one of the teams that has made the most effort to keep in touch with the young talent. In addition to the Crimson Tide, Auburn and Texas A&M are also among the schools looking to position themselves well to secure his commitment. In this competitive landscape, Alabama appears to be taking advantage of its approach. Jones will visit Tuscaloosa next weekend, when Alabama will face the Georgia Bulldogs in one of the biggest games of the season. These visits are crucial to building relationships with recruits, and Jones makes no secret of how important this constant communication is to him. In an interview with the famous website, he described the interaction with the program. "I've been talking to them like every other day, just building a relationship with them." This frequent contact not only shows Alabama's commitment, but also helps create an environment of trust, which can be decisive when it comes to choosing a recruit. Jones is a physical force, which is why Alabama is recruiting him for the Wolf position. This role is central to defensive coordinator Kane Wommack's defense, who uses Wolf dynamically, moving him around frequently to make an impact in different areas of the field. For Jones, this versatility is an attraction, and he has already been closely watching how Alabama's defense has performed this season. "They've been playing hard football. They've been dominating," Jones said, expressing his admiration for the physical style of play that Alabama has always prioritized. The Crimson Tide is known for producing elite linebackers, and there's no doubt Jones is aware of that tradition. The success of players like Will Anderson and Reuben Foster, who came through the Tuscaloosa program before becoming NFL stars, serves as additional motivation for recruits like Jones as they eye a standout career at the next level. Jones' recruitment is far from a foregone conclusion, however. Auburn, a longtime rival of Alabama, is also eyeing the talented linebacker. Jones acknowledges the impact that Auburn's program is beginning to make, especially under the leadership of its coaches. "They're a good school. I like the coaches in the program, and they're building something great for themselves," Jones said, making it clear that the Tigers are also a strong option. Those elements make Jones' recruitment a tight battle, but Alabama is clearly well-positioned. With a rejuvenated defense and a proactive approach to communication, the Crimson Tide appear determined to ensure Anthony Jones chooses to play in Tuscaloosa. And as any seasoned recruiter knows, relationships are key. Jones is building a bond with the Alabama staff, something that cannot be understated in such a competitive recruiting process. The fact that Alabama is already in regular contact with Jones, despite him still being in the 2026 class, shows the level of commitment the program has to securing the future of the defense under Kane Wommack. The Wolf position, in particular, seems tailor-made for players like Jones, who possess the physicality and skill set to make an impact in both the pass rush and coverage. The commitment may still be a ways off, but if Alabama maintains this level of communication and engagement, it wouldn't be surprising to see Anthony Jones suit up for the Crimson Tide for years to come. New head coach Jaylen Mbakwe quickly demonstrated that his leadership would bring continuity to Bama's past success under Nick Saban. One early example of his effectiveness as a recruiter and developer of talent was the turnaround on freshman wide receiver Ryan Williams, who is already emerging as a key player in Alabama's offense. Ryan Williams had made the difficult decision to decommit from Alabama following the announcements of Saban's retirement and wide receivers coach Holman Wiggins' departure to Texas A&M. It was understandable that a young talent like Williams would want to explore his options and ensure he was making the best decision for his future. However, the arrival of DeBoer and his new coaching staff quickly changed that. Williams said the connection with DeBoer was immediate and effective. "As soon as they got off the plane, I was basically on the phone," Williams said, demonstrating how determined Alabama's new staff was to keep the talent in-house. The relationship between Williams and DeBoer, however, was planted long before that interaction in Tuscaloosa. Williams, who has been a keen observer of college football, had already noticed DeBoer's offensive style while he was leading the Washington Huskies. The dynamic offense that DeBoer implemented during the Sugar Bowl victory over Texas impressed the young wide receiver. Williams watched quarterback Michael Penix Jr. rack up 430 passing yards, distributing the ball to 6 different receivers, including players who have now become his Alabama teammates, such as Rome Odunze and Jaylen Mbakwe. That performance left a lasting impression on Williams, who saw the offense as something he could thrive in. DeBoer's connection with Williams' high school coach, Jeff Kelly, also helped cement that relationship. Kelly, who already had a connection with defensive coordinator Kane Womack, now on DeBoer's staff, helped build a bridge that solidified Williams' confidence in the Crimson Tide's new leadership. Even before DeBoer officially arrived in Tuscaloosa, Williams had a clear sense that this was the kind of coach he could work with and develop his potential to the fullest. Williams' confidence in DeBoer in Alabama was reaffirmed when, just 2 weeks after his initial resignation, he recommitted to the program. That decision has proven to be a good one, as through just 3 games, Williams has led Alabama in receptions, with 285 yards and 4 touchdowns. His skill on the field, combined with DeBoer's offensive philosophy, promises great things for the Crimson Tide's future. DeBoer's offense, which Williams had watched with admiration, is already starting to come to life at Alabama. The ability to distribute the ball and create explosive opportunities that Williams saw during the college football playoff semifinals is now being replicated with himself as the lead. DeBoer's dynamic and versatile style, which so impressed Williams, has been a perfect match for the wide receiver's skills. "We watched the whole game and I was like, their offense is so explosive," Williams recalled. And now he's not just watching from the sidelines, he's living it. For Alabama, retaining a talent like Ryan Williams after a time of transition was a crucial win. DeBoer not only secured one of the team's top receivers, but he also set the tone that Alabama will continue to be an offensive powerhouse under his leadership. Williams' commitment to the program so soon after DeBoer's arrival is a reflection of the young wide receiver's confidence in the new coach and the direction Alabama is headed. With the offense already starting to show signs of the explosive potential DeBoer brought from Washington, Williams is in an ideal position to continue to shine. His 10 receptions for 285 yards and 4 touchdowns in just 3 games demonstrate that he's ready to be one of the Crimson Tide's top targets this season and beyond. For Kalen DeBoer and Alabama, Ryan Williams' recovery and success is just the beginning of a new era of offensive excellence, with an even brighter future ahead. Alabama's promising freshman Jaylen Mbakwe is gradually adjusting to the role of cornerback, despite a significant break from playing the position full-time since his sophomore year of high school. Despite being recognized as a top defensive talent, Mbakwe spent much of his high school career playing quarterback. However, upon arriving in Tuscaloosa, he quickly began to gain a foothold at cornerback, the position he was originally recruited for, and his progress has been impressive. In his first few months with the Crimson Tide, Mbakwe has already demonstrated why he was considered a 5-star prospect out of Clay Chalkville. Arriving in Alabama for the start of spring practice, he had the opportunity to acclimate to the position and better understand the demands of being a high-level cornerback in college football. Coming here in the spring, really getting used to the corner position, really got me started, Mbakwe said of the adjustment process. His transition to cornerback didn't happen in isolation. From the beginning, Mbakwe has leaned on Crimson Tide veterans, especially Malachi Moore and Kean Sabb, to learn the technical and strategic aspects of the position. Moore, in particular, has been a source of knowledge and inspiration for the young defender. When asked about his biggest takeaway thus far, Mbakwe highlighted the importance of studying game film and taking detailed notes, something he learned from watching more closely. "From the first day I got here, I knew I had to be with Malachi Moore," Mbakwe said, acknowledging the impact the team captain has had on his development. Through the first 3 games of the season, Mbakwe has already been part of Alabama's 4-man rotation at cornerback, racking up 4 tackles and a pass deflection. He has also shown versatility by contributing on punt returns, especially after Cole Adams' injury. In a crucial moment against South Florida, Mbakwe had an impressive 28-yard return that helped turn around a struggling Alabama performance in that game. This ability to play multiple positions only reinforces his value to the team, and Mbakwe himself recognizes this versatility as one of his strengths. "I'm comfortable anywhere," he said. "Wherever the coaches tell me to play, that's where I'm going to play and do my job to the best of my ability." The recognition of Mbakwe's talent doesn't just come from his teammates. Alabama's coaching staff, including head coach Kalen DeBoer, defensive coordinator Kane Womack, and defensive backs coach Maurice Linguist, have consistently praised the young cornerback's performance. DeBoer has praised his work ethic and potential, while Mbakwe has a special relationship with Linguist, whom he describes as a true mentor. "He's like my big brother," Mbakwe said of Linguist, emphasizing the trust and camaraderie they've developed. Linguist's NFL and college experience has also been instrumental in Mbakwe's growth, as he soaks up as much knowledge as he can from his coach. Now, with the SEC season fast approaching, the real test from Mbakwe and his teammates is about to begin. Alabama will face powerhouse Georgia at Bryant-Denny Stadium next Saturday, and Mbakwe is well aware of the challenge that presents. "They're obviously the number 1 team for a reason," he said of his opponent. However, with proper preparation and careful analysis of game film, he's confident he can do his part to help Alabama excel in one of the most anticipated matchups of the season. The first 3 games have served as valuable on-field experience from Mbakwe, but the upcoming challenge against Georgia will mark the beginning of a new chapter. This will be the time for him to fully demonstrate his potential, applying what he's learned from the veterans and the coaching staff. The confidence Mbakwe has gained since arriving in Tuscaloosa, coupled with his growing understanding of the cornerback position, puts him in a prime position for the future of the Crimson Tide defense. He's got his work cut out for him, but let's get going. And what's your opinion? Comment